Okay, we're going to look at how to multiply fractions. So multiplying a whole number by a fraction. So for example, let's say we had the fraction 2/5 times 6. The first thing you would want to do is you want to change your whole number into a fraction. And the way we do that is all you have to do is put a 1 underneath it. You just put it over 1. Any whole number, to change it into a fraction, you just put a 1 underneath it. So that's step 1. Step 2 is you just multiply your numerator times your numerator. So 2 times 6, and that equals 12. Then you do your denominators, 5 times 1, and that equals 5. So you're left with 12 over 5. A lot of students don't really struggle with this part. A lot of students struggle with this. First, recognizing that this is an improper fraction because the bigger numbers on top, the smaller ones on the bottom. That's the kind of clue, a hint to let you know this is an improper fraction. And what we need to do is we need to divide improper fractions. And the way I try to help kids remember how to divide it is I always say put the top dog in the house, meaning you take the top number, the numerator, 12, and put him inside the house because now he becomes the dividend. And the 5 is outside. It's almost like it got toppled over into the house or fell through the roof, if you want to say. Okay, so now we're going to divide. 12 divided by 5. How many times can 5 go into 12? That's 2 times. 5, 10. 2 times 5 equals 10. You subtract, and you have 2 left over. This 2, another part that students struggle with is what do I do with that remainder? That 2 now becomes your numerator, and the 5 that was originally your denominator stays the same. So your final answer ends up being 2 wholes, because that's how many groups of 5 we were able to make out of 12. And you had 2 left over, and 5 is your denominator. So 2 and 2/5. So just to recap, when you multiply 2/5 times 6, we first put the whole number over 1. Then we multiply the numerator, 2 times 6 equals 12. And our denominators, 5 times 1 equals 5. We have an improper fraction, so we had to divide it. Top dog in the house. 12 divided by 5, 2 times. 2 times 5 is 10. With 2 left over, the 2 becomes your numerator, and the 5 in your denominator stays the same. So you ended up with 2 and 2/5.